Hey everybody, so just finished workout 1, the lifting workout of week 2, and just came back. Sometimes, not often, but sometimes I will finish up a weightlifting workout with a run. But when I say run, I just go out in front of my house, calculated it that down and back is equivalent to like 0.8 miles. So a lot of the times I will concentrate on just speed, keeping my pace pretty high when I do that. Multiple reasons, just obviously working on speed rather than endurance, and then it's one way to challenge myself and stay close to home. My kids will hop on their scooters and ride up and down while I jog. So, and then tomorrow being, and the other thing I've noticed, I can't use jogging as my zone 2 training because my heart rate just gets too high. Haven't been able to moderate that the best. So zone 2 I stick with spin bike, row machine, and hill walking on the treadmill. But one of the things I mentioned in a couple of videos back, I have lost weight. My nutrition has gotten pretty dialed in. And as I said, I would share some of the, I don't even know if I want to say techniques or things that I've been utilizing. I'll take a couple pictures, but for the most part, I don't eat. I eat relatively around the same couple of things and try to vary it up here and there where and when I can. But some things that I've used. My tried and true tool, handy dandy notebook, like Blue's Clues for all of you with children. My handy dandy notebook. I'm a notebook person. You've probably seen it before, even with the workouts. I don't use technology to track that stuff. I handwrite everything. Maybe it's just the old school in me. As I said, I'm almost 40 years old. And technology and I don't always get along. So I've always found it's easier for me to just start out and start handwriting stuff. Before I even started that, I kind of made a list of things that I knew were causing me some issues with my weight, including nighttime snacking. I'm a big one. If I start staying up and start watching TV, I just want to eat and eat. Coffee additives, lots of creamers, candy and sweets. Those are my, they're just my vice. If I've got the option, like of all the different things I could do, just sweets, baked goods. I shouldn't even say candy, baked goods and chocolate. And then the other thing was just overindulgence. I was eating way more than one serving. So those were just little notes I took that were, hey, these are causing you issues, time to get these in control. And then from there, I didn't make drastic changes, slowly just started writing things down. I did go online, found an online calculator, gave me a very rough estimate of where my calories should be, and I started high. And I wanted to use one that I could input my muscle mass. I think that's or my fat percentage, I should say. I think that just makes a massive difference between what's your height, what's your age, and what's your gender. Lean mass is to me, I think should be part of that calculation. So I did find one that did that. I don't even remember which one it was. I put all that information in. I used body calipers the best that I could by myself and found a rough estimate. So when I write things down, there's only 2 things that I pay attention to make it the easiest on me, and that is calories and protein. And as time went on, I did recognize I just was not getting as much protein as I should have been, considering my goal is to lose body fat and maintain my muscle mass. So that's my number 1 tool that I utilize. Second thing, as I mentioned, I was not getting enough protein, so I found, and as you can see, I utilize it because it's empty, Naked Whey. And normally I like chocolate, as I said, but I don't even want to share this secret because it's actually, this last go around, the couple different places were actually out of the vanilla because the vanilla is delicious. I went with this brand, couple different reasons, but the number one reason for me was I didn't want any artificial sweeteners. Not that I have a problem with artificial sweeteners, I just find I don't care for the taste of them. And I can always, for the most part, certain stuff, especially with the whey protein, I can taste the artificial sweeteners, and sometimes they just make it's too sweet. It's way too sweet. And this, when you smell this, it's got like a vanilla bean smell to it, and it's not intensely sweet. So I take this protein powder, and for the longest time, I was mixing it with just a Cara orange. I peel the orange, cut it up, throw it in the blender with a scoop of this protein and some water, and mix it up, and it's delicious. Now I'm running into the problem with also Cara oranges are now going out of season. So worked with it this morning. I have frozen strawberries. And I always feel like frozen strawberries are the key. And I let them sit out overnight so that they de-thaw. So there's a bunch of juice to them. And same thing, kept it simple with just the defrosted frozen strawberries, scoop of protein powder, and maybe like a piece of ice or two. Mixed it all up, and it was delicious. So that's one thing that has changed, has helped me significantly to reach my protein goals, which I went with the tried and true old calculations, which is like 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, and I'm going more on the lower end for the most part, sometimes not. Currently I'm 150 pounds, so that's about, I usually end somewhere between 130 and sometimes beyond 150 depending on the day. The other supplement I did start taking after listening to the Huberman podcast, Dr. Lane Norton, who was on the Huberman podcast, and Dr. Peter Attia, just some great quality doctors to listen to. I started taking creatine, started taking that a while back. That's a daily thing. So those are two supplements. I don't know that I call whey protein a supplement as much as just an alternative, easier way to get your protein. Next up, so one of the other sources that I currently found was Zach, I'll insert it, Zach Cohen on Instagram. He's a dietitian and nutritionist, fabulous on Instagram. He constantly posts recipes, and they're meal prep recipes that they taste good and they're simple and they're cheap. My kind of recipe. I'm not a chef. I don't cook every day. I don't care to be in the kitchen constantly. So I have found a couple of his recipes that are just tried and true. Whip them up, throw them in the fridge. Those are, that's another one of my things, is just, it's got to be simple and easy to throw together. And I don't want to cook all the time. I'd rather just have food ready to go. So a couple other tried and true things that I do was chicken breast. I buy chicken breast once a week or so. I take the chicken breast and some chicken broth, throw it in the crock pot, cook it on low for about 4 hours, pull it out, shred it, throw it in Tupperware, and then as the week goes on, I'll put it on salads, I'll make chicken tacos, I'll make barbecue chicken. It's just plain old chicken, and then I can mix what I want with it to vary it up. As well as my salmon. I always try to eat salmon, so I'll make that ahead of time, a couple fillets of salmon, And then I buy those salad kits from the store. Right now I'm digging the everything salad kit. I think there's like an Asian chopped salad, and I'll take those baked salmon fillets, throw those in Tupperware, and then I'll split the salad in two, and then throw those in the fridge, and I've got dinner for a couple of days. Then, so that's that. For the most part, lunch has been, for a while I was doubling up my protein shake, and that was lunch. It was just a big giant protein shake. I have since cut that back down in half because I also like to eat a little something with it. So a lot of the times lately, it'd be something like a tortilla shell. I guess you could call it a quesadilla, but it'd be a tortilla shell. I'd throw some shredded cheese in there, measured out, and just toast it up and have that with my protein shake. And breakfast has been pretty consistent. I'm always having eggs because they're just the easiest way to get a lot of protein in. I just found with my writing everything down, it's kind of like a budget. Here's how many calories you've got. Now how can you get the most bang for your buck? And so it turns out for me, 2 eggs mixed with half a cup of egg whites, and that is spot on for pretty good protein for the amount of calories that come with that. Then I also found from Walmart, these are delicious too, maple chicken breakfast sausage links. And then I usually have a carbohydrate on the side. That could, right now, has been half a bagel with a tablespoon of cream cheese. Some days I take the eggs and the sausage and I throw those in the tortilla shell with cheese and make like a breakfast burrito. Other days it's just plain oats because I love oats. And that's pretty much what my days look like for the most part. It's summertime now, so I hit my sweet tooth with just delicious fruit. Watermelon, and that's just the epitome of summer to me. My kids love cantaloupe, so we constantly have just tons of fruit for dessert. It just hits the spot. And then finally, the one thing, there's certain things that like I can't give up. I like a nice bedtime snack. I like to have a little something to crunch on before I go to bed while I'm reading or maybe watching a show. So again, I went ahead and found Quaker. Quaker makes a oatmeal square cereal. I think it's a brown, I think I found brown sugar. I'll take pictures and add them. And I measure that out in my little Ziploc bag, probably about a cup and a half or like a serving and a half. And yes, I sit in bed and read or watch a show and munch on my bedtime snack that is calculated into my daily allowance. And then the other thing with measuring, I found one of the biggest culprits that was killing me is peanut butter. I am a hold that jar and just scoop and eat. And so I finally had to stop that. And I found little individual cups at the dollar store. This, my friends, look how teeny that is. That's sad, right? Is a serving of peanut butter. It's depressing because I think this is one scoop of like 5 or 6 I would eat at a time. So those sit in my fridge ready to go if I have a massive desire for peanut butter. And even still, I haven't been eating maybe a little bit here and there of peanut butter. And then still there are days that I'm very particular about writing everything down, tracking it. And then these last couple of days, because I've been tracking it for so long, I started a little while back, you get a better feel for what a serving looks like and kind of where your calories are hitting. And I have been a little lenient on writing it down the past couple of days just to give myself that mental break that everybody needs from time to time. So that hits just about everything that has has helped me nutritionally to stay on track. In all full disclosure, I believe before I started to really dial in my nutrition back maybe in March, I got on the scale and I was 167, and that is at the high end for me, and decided it was time to make a change. And so, as I said, I very slowly have started, so from 167 to, as I said, right now I am bordering on about 150, give or take, and just in the attempt to feel as good as I feel, which I do, maintain my muscle mass while losing body fat. I only look, as long as I continue to go down and go down slowly, nothing crazy drastic, I'm happy with that. And that's the only thing I can say in regards to figuring out how much, what kind of calorie count you should be sticking to is, measure yourself, write it all down, know where you're at, and start to adjust your numbers based on how that's going. For instance, I have maintained, as I said, I make adjustments as I go. I realized that I was eating a double protein shake and having myself like a side carb chicken quesadilla, or sometimes I take that bagel and a half and have that with my protein shake, and realized I had started to kind of just plateau a little bit and that the calories were creeping back up. So that's when I decided to just make that minute change of cutting the protein shake back in half. Those are the things that when you write stuff down, you have the ability to flip back through all those pages and find little things like that, tweak them, and make adjustments that will make changes. So I hope this helps. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video for some more updates on Beast and how the pull-ups are going. It's actually, the thought has hit me beyond doing the pull-up program that tests pull-ups at the beginning and the end. I have not done pull-ups at all, so it almost starts to make you wonder. I hope this is working, because I would really hate to digress and lose those 3 that I was able to do. See you, everybody.